Hello again, everyone. Edwin Lord back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about transit Venus making a square opposition or inconjunct aspect to one's natal Mars. Now, when we're talking about transits that involve Venus, well, it could be about love, enjoyment, money, possessions, resources. Um, it could be about our self-worth. And it really, and when you in your values as well. Now, when you have transit Venus basically making an adverse aspect to one's natal Mars, and when I say basically adverse aspect for the most part, it is because squares and oppositions, of course, are adverse aspects. Inconjuncts could be seen as neutral, but they do require an adjustment. An adjustment can be trying and sometimes even a little exasperating, I would say. But anyway, when you have the transit of Venus basically making an adverse aspect to one's natal Mars, well, this may manifest in the love, enjoy what you enjoy, your money, possessions, resources, matters that are connected with your basically it could be your values, your self-worth, your self-esteem, and how you feel about yourself may conflict with your energy and vitality. It could be a time where if you're not if you're feeling down and your self-worth and self-esteem is not up to par at this time, it has an impact on your energy level, your vitality at this time. Maybe there's self-worth issues that have a connection with your courage and your fortitude, or maybe you feel that you haven't been, shown the courage and fortitude and bravery that you needed to show in some situation. And maybe it could be where it might be, it might be tied into a low self-worth and self-esteem. Say if this is in, this falls in the seventh house in your chart, it could be a situation, with a very, with the open adversary or legal opponent. Um, it can be something too when you look at this as well. I mean, Mars is about our action. And the thing about it is, it could be where you might be dealing with a situation with a relationship, whether it might be a romantic one, it might be a significant friendship that might be causing a challenge or conflict with you taking action in some other area in your life. And the thing about this too is now when you look at Mars as well, Mars is about initiative and enterprise. So it can be, again, going back to the fact that Venus is associated with relationships, whether it might be a romantic one, it may be a significant other, could also be a significant friendship. They may be, something might be going on with one or more of these people that might be causing a blockage in you taking initiative on another matter in your life. Say if this, the Mars, natal Mars falls in the sixth house, it could be a work-related matter. If it's in a, say Aquarius in the sixth house, it could be something, with the, an Aquarium, astronomy or astrology or some computer-related, work-related matter or some kind of service that's associated with Aquarius. It might be uh, also too. Mars is connected with our anger. So it might be a situation too where there might be somebody, or it could be, relationship you're involved in. It may be that might be causing, some acrimony in your life, or it could be a monetary situation, maybe that you're not overly comfortable with, or matters with your possessions, your resources might be causing some agitation at this time, more so than usual. And Mars also can be connected with surgery. Now, this is not this transit does not last for a very long time, but it can have some significance. You're going to have a number of these every year. In some cases, it could be this transit may manifest in not having the money may be necessary for a surgical procedure. Keep in mind, Venus is connected with money. Mars is associated with surgery. Mars could also be connected with physical injuries as well. So in some cases, this transit may be expressed in your fun, your enjoyment at this time. Really might be impacted by a physical related matter at this time. Say if the natal Mars is in As in Virgo, as an example, it could be some issue, maybe with the spleen or some intestinal issue that might be going on, that might be impacting your fun, your amusement, your enjoyment at this time. And the thing about this too is now Mars can also be about violence. So in some case, I mean, you're talking about Venus is associated with peace and tranquility. And at this time of this transit, it might be where you're trying to really strive for that in your life, but there could be an acrimonious or contentious situation going on that may be conflicting with this. Now, anatomically, Mars is connected with the head, the face, the skull, the sexual organs. So it might be a time where they're, going back to Venus, being associated with money, where the money may be hard to come by if there's any issues that are associated with this. And if you're somebody that likes to, dress up or you have makeup or you know, those are things, Mars being associated with the face and the head. This could be something where maybe you don't have maybe the funds to do so at this time, to do that, as far as it could be, doing things associated with makeup for the face or something of that nature. It might be where the monetary situation is such where you're not able to do so and beautify the face, basically, if you're somebody that is into that, as an example. Now, another thing too is that Mars could be associated with burns as well, and it's really important to be careful, as far as if you're doing something money related and it's generated income, could be your job or what have you. Now be careful at this place, because it could be a place, if you're near areas, even if there's like a stove in the place of your business, just be careful at this time as far as that goes, and be extra prudent and cautious regarding things of that nature. Mars is also connected with gunfire, so it could be a time, if you're in, say, a bad neighborhood, especially where your peace might be really adversely affected by this. There may be a greater chance of a shooting in your area that might be conflicting with your peace and tranquility at this time. Mars is also connected with leadership, and it may be a time too where maybe you're not really enjoying or love having necessarily a leadership role. If somebody at your place of employment is trying to cajole you and go from a subordinate or subservient position to one of a leadership role, say manager, that could be something that you might not be really enamored with or really have much enjoyment with at this time. Mars is also associated with our drive and motivation. So, even the money at this time might not even really fuel you or drive you at this time. And as far as, like, say, because money can sometimes be very motivating to offer something monetary or possessions. This could be something that would ordinarily be very motivating for people, but this could be something where maybe it just doesn't do so at this time for you. Now, another thing, another way this transit may manifest, you might not love, so to speak, to fight or combat at this time. You might not really, most people don't like confrontation, but this could be a time where you might be more averse to it than usual. I mean, especially might come as a surprise if you're somebody that does have somewhat disputatious nature anyway. But say if the natal Mars is in the zodiac sign Cancer and or the fourth house, as an example, it could be a contentious or combative situation with your home, a family member, someone you're close to home with, and might be simply trying to fight for survival and subsistence matters, and you might not really feel like doing this at this time, or you don't really have your enjoyment, and really is not there at this time. If there ever was any enjoyment in there to begin with, it certainly wouldn't be there at this time in most instances, I would say. Now, another thing too is that another way this transit may be expressed, it could be that relationships might conflict with you taking action or initiative on some matter. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, and going back to this, reiterating what I said earlier, is that relationships may conflict. With you taking action or initiative on a matter, it could be, say, for example, if the natal Mars is in Virgo in the eighth house, as an example, maybe it's something connected with analytical psychology or astrology. Um, it could be doing, you might have difficulty finding enjoyment at this time and just general activities. Remember, Mars is about action, energy expended, vitality, and it could be connected, I would say, with your activities as well in general. So, say for example, if the natal Mars is in Scorpio, it could be doing something with the occult, astrology, recycling, maybe something with insurance or taxes. Could be, in order at this time, and you might not really feel that enjoyment in doing so at this time. Now, let's say, if it's, this also can be if you have any issues, say, with something anatomically associated with Venus, such as the lower back, thyroid, neck, kidneys, um, throat. This may adversely affect your drive and motivation at this time, even your enthusiasm, perhaps, or even your sexual urge. Your vitality, your energy might be affected negatively. Um, it can be, say, for example, if Mars, natal Mars is in Gemini, it might be lacking the drive and motivation to do things associated with manual dexterity or communications, as some examples. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Leonard saying, stay well.